Hi there, this is Rumba Diving at the Legal Bay, welcoming you back to my channel. Please let me know where you are watching in from. And of course, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. Now, we've already talked about adultery damages. We also talked about breach of promise to marry. But for completeness, we need to also talk about something that is very controversial, but I'm here to tell you that this is actually something that you can claim. And I'm talking about seduction damages. So, seduction damages are damages that can be claimed by a woman who was chaste, who was a virgin, and was led astray by a man who maybe promised to marry her or said certain things to her, making her believe that all these things would be true. She ends up sleeping with this man, and then the man leaves her, and this will ruin her marriage prospects. So it's a civil claim that she can make for the damages, for being led astray, for essentially her loss of chastity, that she is no longer a virgin, so she will have limited marriage prospects. Now, this is interesting because a while ago, this was actually something that the girl's father would sue for. But there have been developments in our law, and now women on their own can actually mount up a case and sue for seduction damages. So, what do you need to prove to show that you were seduced? And what else do you need to do to qualify for damages under our law? So, the first thing, and this is often very difficult because there's a requirement that you show that you were indeed chaste Wangawari Mandara before you were led astray. And, normally it would then be up to the defendant, the man in the situation, to prove that no, but Susan has been with this man, that man, that man. And, there have been cases where the defendant has actually looked for people who have been involved with the plaintiff who is claiming that she was actually a virgin before this act happened. Then, once this has been satisfied, you move into quantifying the damages, the amount of money that you would require, also showing that indeed you have lost marriage prospects. And then, if a pregnancy results, you can get maintenance claims done and ensure that the child that results from the seduction, as it were, is properly catered for. So, this brings about a very interesting dichotomy, because on the one hand, I often hear a lot of people saying, "Oh, but is virginity a prize? Is it a badge? Like my lovely brooch here. Is it a badge that you wear? And ultimately, should you be allowed to sue or be sued for something like this because it's a consensual act?" Another side of the coin saying, no, but ultimately, if you tell someone that you are going to marry them and they give it up to you for that reason, and then you disappoint them, you've actually taken away that chance or those prospects for someone else who would have wanted to marry a woman who has never known a man. But in this modern day society where we've modernized fornication and a lot of premarital engagement, is this something that you could see yourself suing for or being sued for? What happens in your country? This is the law in terms of Zimbabwe, and you'd have there's a big burden that you have to actually prove that indeed you were chaste. Indeed, you were a virgin before you were seduced and led astray by some man who was talking a big game and then did not follow through. He was all talk and no trousers. Then it can also be, I've also heard a third side of the story where there are those who speak about an invasion of privacy and also that it can be a bit intrusive. But of course, you don't qualify to claim for seduction damages if you were not a virgin at the time of the consensual act. So, quite interesting. Let me know what your comments are on this one. It is definitely something that you can sue for, seduction damages. So remember to leave a comment in the comment box below, like, follow, and subscribe. And if there's anything else you want the Legal Bay to unpack, do let me know.